Shalom. Shalom. There's a lot heavy on the heart. Just like it says in Corinthians, First Corinthians chapter 12. When one part of the body suffers, we all feel it. When one part of the body, you know, um, is being honored, we all share in their happiness. So it's a great thing to be in union with the body of Yeshua. And as I, pray and look at things and ask for Yah to open the eyes of my understanding, it's just so much more clearly that we are in sync. His true ones are very much so in sync. That everyone must do what they're told to do in particular. And but we gotta be mindful of our hearts. Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is more deceitful than anything else, and mortally sick. Who can fathom it? I, Yahweh, search the hearts. I test the inner motivations in order to give everyone what his actions and conduct deserve. Yahweh tests the hearts. No matter what the outward appearance looks like, no matter how much I'm just no matter how much knowledge I'm gonna just speak of myself right now. No matter how much knowledge I have, or things that I see, or things that I can fathom, no matter how much good intent I may have mentally, Yahweh still tests the heart. So this is why it's very important for us to continue to ask Him to as we're working out our own salvation with fear and trembling. It's very important that we continually ask Him to expose our own heart to us. That we can have anything that is like a stony heart removed, that He can give us a heart of flesh. That our hearts are in union and in tune with Him. And honestly, me myself, I am quite grateful as I continue to do that. Continue to ask for His word to cut me. In that process, I see that He is making me more in tune with Him, and more in tune with His people, more in tune with His body. But it's a process. And I just want to read something else. Because He's changing, y'all. He's telling us to let go of things. He's telling us to prepare for new things. He's giving us pieces, giving us little seeds here and there to show us a little bit even of our own future and what He has for us. But we must continue to obey, and we must prepare ourselves. If things got to be taken out of our lives, if things got to be uprooted out of our lives that we may be attached to, that we may even be in love with, Jeremiah, chapter 18. This is the word that came to Jeremiah from Yahweh. He told him, get up and go down to the potter's house. There I will tell you more. So I went down to the potter's house, and there was the potter. There he was, working at the wheels. Whenever a pot he made came out imperfect, the potter took the clay and made another pot in whatever shape suited him. Then the word of Yahweh came to me. He said, House of Israel, can't I deal with you as the potter deals with his clay? Now, we understand that, anyone who is a believer in the Messiah, Jew or Gentile, slave or free, that they are engrafted into the house of Israel. So those of us who are in part of the body, this is what we can, insert that right there. house of Israel. Then the word of Yahweh came to me, and he said, what? Body of Christ, my children, right? Bride of Christ. Can't I deal with you the way the potter deals with his clay? Says Yahweh, look, you, house of Israel, look, you, my body, my people, look. Are the same, you are the same in my hands as the clay in the potter's hands. At one time, I may speak about uprooting and breaking down and destroying a nation or kingdom. But if that nation turns from their evil, which prompted me to speak against it, then I will relent concerning the disaster I plan to inflict on it. Similarly, at another time, I may speak about building and planting a nation or a kingdom. But if it behaves wickedly from my perspective and doesn't listen to what I want to say, then I would change my mind and don't do the good I said I would do that would have helped it. So now tell the people of Judah, tell the people of Israel, tell the body of Christ that this is what Yahweh says. Whew. That's a lot in there, you know. I don't really know how much memory I have on this phone, but I gotta get some fresh air. But let's continue to build on that. You know, that is looked at many different ways. It should be, rather. Because right now in the body, a lot of us, if not all of us, because of the time, because the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and we all know and can feel and sense the separation that the sword of truth is bringing, dividing the sheep and the goats. And so what will happen is you can have something in your life, whether it's a job or career or a goal, or you can have a relationship, maybe even a marriage, you know, maybe it's a family structure, whatever it may be, something that was built. And maybe even Yahweh put it together himself in the beginning, but then it started to turn out not like how he wanted it. Then he'd take that same thing and break it all down and make something else with it. But just imagine for a second, if you will, if you could actually imagine this, if the clay actually had feelings, if the clay actually had, you know, nerve endings and actually had emotions. Like, how, if we at the potter's house and we watching the potter, like, we all know what it looked like, the clay turned, the wheel turning, and we all in school, we made little projects and stuff, right? And we smashed the clay and pounded it. You know, little kids play with Play-Doh. Imagine if that Play-Doh had some feelings and emotions. That stuff would feel bad, right? As it's being shaped into something. Being ripped apart and broken down, being shaped into something. And that's how we are. But as Yahweh is doing this at times, and especially these times, the stuff does not feel good. And sometimes we end up being ripped apart from something that is attached to us, something that we may even love. So if there's anyone out there who is maybe experiencing, or maybe even in foresight, man, Yahweh is ripping something apart in my life and it doesn't feel good. But I know it's for the good, but it doesn't feel good. But we are in his hands. He is the potter. We are the clay. This is why we must keep ourselves spiritually connected to him through the word, through prayer, through fasting, and staying away from the world. And when he starts to show us that this thing is being ripped from us, we gotta let it go. This is why I'm really grateful for my brother. You know exactly who you are, man. Who been teaching the other bodies, the other members of the body, that when it's time to let go, we gotta let go.
And if it's really, really of Yah, he will put it back together how he see fit. But he may just rip the whole thing down or bust it all apart and do something new. And you gotta look at it now.